Alright, hello and welcome back. This game, we ended up playing Ghost. We're going to talk about how this game went, some of the really interesting things about it, and the results. So, firstly, I have to think, just like with the last video, what are the conditions to play Ghost? I will always remember what Tay said that completely changed my mindset on how the game worked. For Ghost, it is all about the ad picks, being able to get access to things like artificial or amorphous, make it what it is for the most part, because Vertical Ghost 8 doesn't really have a lot of lines that it can follow. It doesn't really get a lot of support in the late game, but if you have amorphous Pokemon, for example, like we are going to have in this game, it can help the late game transition. To get there, we need a good defense for surviving to level 8 and 9, and we also need a good offense in the late game to secure placement, because while Ghost is known for its very scary and annoying curse, it's 8 seconds to pop, and in 8 seconds a better board can probably take you down. So this game didn't start off the best. We haven't gotten much direction, but we do manage to secure 10 gold and a fireboard to help us hold. And because we're in this position, it's super important that we scout the rest of the lobby. We see that ground is contested, we see that water is contested. So at least for now, we're going to try and avoid those traits. And then again, because we're in this position, we are not going to go ahead and immediately grab our ad pick. We're going to monitor the lobby a little bit and see what gets added. We continue scouting, and we try our best not to slam immediately, but we do end up putting down some items in order to try and preserve some HP. Because we're able to hit a Fire 4 line later on in these rounds, it's not the worst situation to be in, but we do want to try and preserve our items as much as we can, usually in this position. Luckily, it didn't really have too much of an impact on our later game, but it's something that I definitely need to work on just a little bit more. I'm almost there, but we did end up slamming some items here, that one of which I guess isn't the most necessary. Our second ad pick is looking pretty rough, but thanks to our analysis and our constant monitoring, we realize that we are now in a great condition. Sandygast is added, we have Drifloon in our ad pick window, and then we also have Honez in our shop. So this is a pretty decent Ghost line, and this is where we lock in the Ghost game. And here I just wanted to point out, Sandshrew did open fort this game. Open forting is a completely legitimate strategy. I don't think that there's anything wrong with doing it. There's a lot of benefits to doing it, and I do it a lot. But what I ended up having to compare, because he was the open fort player this game, I just ended up obviously a little bit healthier than he did. And it's starting to make me think that maybe I should try and play these boards more often when I don't know what I'm going to play. So moving on to our uniques, we have 3 options for Ghost. Firstly is Hoopa. We don't want Hoopa because it being dark does not help our defensive line at all. It's actually probably going to end up making us lose faster. Gimmighoul is a very, very strong unit, but requires us to play for high gold value, and it has some very specific build paths that we just do not have access to. Again, having slammed the Pokédoll and the Punching Glove, it kind of throws off any idea of just going straight into a Gimmighoul here. But on the bright side, we also have Kecleon. Kecleon will become a Ghost Amorphous unit because we have the Drifloon, because we have the Sandygast, because Gengar is going to be there late game. we have access to Ghost Amorphous very securely. It's a super strong defensive unit. It's always good in the mid game with its healing, and we have an item in Pokédoll that it can hold now. And then it immediately pays off because we end up actually winning through it for the next 2 rounds. So that's 2 rounds of HP already saved because of this Pokemon. And throughout the game, throughout the footage that you'll see, it does a pretty good job in most of these matchups of just holding for as long as possible, making sure that the Pokemon with Ghost Curse isn't just running over our board still. And overall, I really do swear by Kecleon. I think it's an amazing unique. You just have to know what you're giving up in exchange for it, I guess. And here's where the crux of our discussion for this video comes from. With Kecleon being a really strong part of my mid-game survival, I decided to itemize it further with a muscle band. I could have decided for more fitting items for a unit down the line, such as my Ultra in Ghastly Hunter or my Legendary, which we don't know what that is yet. I could have also decided to try and make use of the Fossil Stone. That Fossil Stone was a payment that I had to give in order to get the Drifloon. So it does throw off my itemization a lot, and that's another reason why I didn't grab the Gimmighoul. But instead, I commit to the defensive needs of my Ghost Comp and make sure that Kecleon can be as much of a menace as possible in the mid game. At this point, I am not playing for first. This is not a position for first at all. I don't think that we are going to secure a first place playing Ghost in this higher elo lobby with players that know how to counter the Ghost Curse. I know that the Ghost threat will tax the lobby, and I know that Kecleon won't be as strong later. So I'm going to try to win the game now so I can bleed out in the top 4 and secure a win that way. The point of all this is to be versatile and play as a consistent top 4 player. This will then enable me to reach my goal of top 100. Here I ended up giving Kecleon a fluffy tail, as not only do we have another player with Ghost Curse to worry about, but there's also poison teams in the lobby and an ice team. We did get lucky and hit an early Ghastly, and because we were able to hit the 2 Dittos needed, we also have Haunter. This makes life a lot easier, as a big problem with playing for Ghost 8 is that you have to find your way to Ghastly, which is probably just the strongest unit you can just board generally, especially with the Amorphous overlap. But you're going to have a limited amount of gold to do that and hit level 9. So if you're not stable, if you're going to lose after T20 anyways, it's a really big throw up to try and just roll all the way down at level 8, pushing for level 8 at T20, and then hopefully getting a Ghastly. Because I'm strong now, and I've reduced the risk of going all in after T20, it kind of helps draw the luck my way, and I consider this my reward for stabilizing around Kecleon as my strong defensive unit. With our legendary portal, I don't hesitate to pick up Darkrai here. Even though its ability doesn't really make it feel like a strong addition to Ghost, the synergy does help me hit Amorphous 5, with Kecleon changing to the dominant second synergy. And while we don't have a lot of synergies to play around, all it really takes is to hit level 9 and add something with 2 of those necessary synergies. Just as I had stated earlier, the Ghost tax has taken effect, and most of the lobby has a way to cleanse the Ghost Curse. This is why Amorphous 5 is pretty important, because without the speed increase, we don't really have much of a damage threat to stay alive until level 9. We sadly don't see any items that can directly boost our current team, but we are able to achieve our goal of securing top 4. And thanks to our mid-game HP preservation, we were able to not only beat out the bottom 4, but stay alive just long enough to get 3rd place while on a losing streak. Do let me know what you think about the power of Kecleon down below, and if you like the plan to play for top 4 instead of trying to win every possible round and beat the lobby. I don't think I was ever going to end the game in 1st, so I played for placement, which I personally recommend people do mindset-wise. If we're trying to have the best possible position every game, I think we are bound to make more mistakes and panic more than necessary. If we can accept that this isn't a top 4 game, then we can just go for 5th, and if we get 8th, then we can just review it and be glad that most of the time we're not playing that poorly. That's all I've got. Thank you for watching, and until next time, I hope you take care.